Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube. JW here, and welcome to Malayan Beauty, Kuala Bintu Taman, on easy difficulty, 1 hour 20 time limit, 59:02 best time, and we are unlocking the golden Barbarossa statue. Let's get stuck in. I hope you're all well. So actually, what's interesting is for this one, I didn't do better than my original time. I did significantly worse. But it's not an issue. Still within the time limit, but not what I'm capable of. Guess I just got lucky the first time I did it. This time, not so much. There's also quite a lot of lag in this one. I don't know why necessarily, but there just was one of those things. It's taking ages to load in as well. You'll notice that. Here we go. So we're loading into, I forgot the name of it already, Kuala Bintu Taman. The video quality is a bit off on this one as well. It just really doesn't like this map. It's laggy, and then the video quality is a bit meh. I must say that this is one of my favourite maps. It's got a lot of animals that I quite like. But we are about to launch in, see what we've got to work with. 18 different habitat species with welfare of 85, one animal to a 5-star rating, yearly shop profit of 10,000, a suspended gondola ride, and pay off all loans. First things first, locate your riverboats, change the speed, change the ticket price, and change the capacity of the boats. I think I go for 8, yeah. And then just reopen that. And you're then going to want to just scout out the area very quickly. Get rid of the large facilities. I saw this on another gold tutorial thing that wasn't in English. I don't know why it helps, but it does. So just get rid of the large facilities. So get rid of large keeper huts and replace them with small keeper huts. I genuinely don't know why it helps, but it does. Get rid of that veterinary surgery as well over at the back. You're not going to need that. I have a bit of trouble connecting the path with this. There we go. It's just been a bit awkward. So move that solar panel right there near the little market so that it covers the boats. Just make that staff path. Doesn't matter that the little doors and everything aren't covered by power. You can't get rid of those anyway. What are we doing now? Get rid of your quarantine. You're not going to need it. Making sure everything's got power, what needs to have power. Here, add a solar panel. I just move those banana leaves. Take out all the loans and set your repayments to max. And add a research centre behind the giraffes. I think I forgot to say that earlier on. Add enrichment for the giraffes, ostrich, zebra, Barbarossa, Indian rhino, Indian elephant, the binturong, the proboscis monkeys, the Indian elephants, the hippos, and the dolls. Do not bother with the Malayan tapir or the sun bears because we're going to be moving them a little bit later on. Don't get rid of them though, you just move them. Buy another giraffe. Add it in. There you go, that's that. Proboscis monkeys, not something I have in my zoos often, to be fair. Add enrichment for them. Just enough to sort of raise it into the amber or the green. Amber's more likely with most of the animals until you start researching them. Yeah, so they need some more toy enrichment, but nothing really satiates their needs. Indian elephants, we'll come back to them. The dolls, again, not something I really have in my zoos that often. Using the North American beaver pool, the water pool that came with the Australia pack. Just moving the food trays and things. Plenty of enrichment, even though it's still not enough for them. And this is on 2.5 times speed, so remember that. Love the binturongs, I always have them in my zoos. Add enrichment for them. We are going to adjust their habitat a little bit to give them some more room because they're going to be getting 2 cohabiting species. The sun bears and the Malayan tapirs are going to be moving in with the binturong. Returning to those elephants now. Putting their enrichment down, and actually for the elephants you're going to want to adjust the terrain as well. They need a lot less sand than what they've currently got. Again, there we go, a lot less sand. For some bizarre reason, the sand wasn't really going down that much. There we go. Hippos then, add a solar panel in front of the hippo overlook and apply a contraceptive to the male hippo. Don't know why. It helps. Again, much like getting rid of the large keeper huts, that's something from a non-English tutorial as well. Just adjusting the binturong habitat here so there's more room for our 3 species to cohabit. And then I don't have to do this, you can save yourself some time. I just like moving this back and sinking it down a little bit. So get your sun bears, move their enrichment over into the binturong habitat. And then anything that's left over from the sun bears in that habitat, just get rid of it. Apart from the climbing and the foliage, don't get rid of that. Malayan tapirs, move those in with the binturong. They do get along, these 3 species. Malayan tapirs are generally kept separate. I have seen binturongs and sun bears together in zoos before, so that's not particularly unusual. Climb proof your tapir habitat. We're going to be adding red pandas into there. Change these stairs from staff path to guest path. It's just going to increase that flow of traffic around the park. So buy 2 clouded leopards. And place them in the sun bear habitat. You might need to adjust the fences, I do. Red pandas, buy 2 of them. Place them in the former tapir habitat. And remove contraceptives from everything except for that male hippo. So you're going to want to make sure you have between 10 to 15 cleaners, between 3 and 4 keepers. I go for 4, I think, or 5. And the same for vets and the same for mechanics. Here near the binturongs, place a staff room and a keeper hut. And then add everything what you've placed down to their respective work zones. Staff room here near the boat ride for those vendors. Change everything to a rec room. This will help the energy levels recover faster. Just put a price on the toilets and synchronize. Check where food and drink is needed most in your park, and you're going to want to place plenty of drink stands and sort of food for everyone in 3. So for every drink stand you place, every 3 drink stands you place, sorry, you're going to want to place 1 food stand along with that. Again, there's lots over here. Not so much near the entrance, so it's finding somewhere around here, and I do go for this area near the boat ride. Adding the new Bernie's Bakes into there. The food, drink, toilet. Clouded leopard's going to be going in there. Just changing the education points and things. Adjust your ticket price. Reduce it temporarily. You're going to get more guests in your park. Place a few additional donation bins. Add in the food and enrichment for the tapirs now. Just adjusting this fence. Again, I do have Kyodenic's free build mod installed. All that's going to do is let me place barriers closer to paths and things like that. Here, I'm just adjusting the fence to give the animals a bit more privacy. And a couple more donation bins. I do change this bit of wall into a window, just for some additional hippo viewing. Research. Here we go. The giraffe, the dole, the leopard, the ostrich. And I'm hiring 3 more vets to research. The sun bears. 4 more keepers by the looks of that. And then you're going to want to research barriers. And then vendors, train all of them. Place some green bins around the park. Especially in the areas what don't really look like they have much, because we're going to be developing those areas very shortly. So build one massive habitat around this central lake, and then split that into 3. Doesn't necessarily have to be equal, but just relatively evenly spaced. So you can see I'm just doing the initial perimeter fence here, and then I'm going to split it into 3 moderately spaced habitats. I'll start on again. Although I do can't speak. I do encounter an error actually in this one. So we're gonna get a pair of saltwater crocs. We're gonna get a pair of gharials, and later on, I don't get it at this moment, we're gonna get a Nile monitor. The gharials actually climb the fence into the Nile, the Nile monitor habitat, but it won't let me move the gharial back. So I have to send it to the trade center and then move it back into the habitat. So don't place any food enrichment on those initial islands. Water treatment, this was tricky to say the least. I sort of place it there so it covers that interior lake, but it needs to be pretty far away from people. So I just place it in that patch of banana leaves. Completely forget about the path. I do rectify that in a short while. Yep. Leopard has escaped. He's managed to jump over the fence, so where those rocks are just increase the height of the fence. Pandas have low welfare, completely forgot about them. They need everything: temperature, food, water, climbing. My bad. It's very easy to get overwhelmed in these later time scenarios. So this one, El Dorado Bazaar, and then Jameson Wildlife Park. It's very easy to get overwhelmed because there's just so much going on. So climbing, I was going to try and do something fancy and then just decided to plonk a bog standard climbing frame over the lake, really. Just checking their requirements now. It's just the temperature, just add coolers. And there we go, the red pandas are fine. There's the path for the water treatment. Research is beginning to unlock. So make sure your saltwater crocodiles are comfortable. It was a squeeze. Fish feeder, and that pretty much does them for their enrichment. Donation bins again, just copy them, place them, random intervals wherever you would see animals, really. That's where you're going to get the most guests congregating to. Do you need to move those benches? Education boards, always important. I won't say what I usually say, but you should know if you've seen the other ones. So the talks, just make sure they have the correct species aligned. Same goes for the education boards. Just make sure they've got the correct species aligned. That's because we're going to be adding speakers next. Gharials, I just get these two, and then Nile monitors don't become available until a little bit later on. It doesn't tell me that the Gharials have escaped though, that's the weird thing. Let's keep that research ticking through. Checking for a giant panda. So I can start setting up the education boards now. Moving the majority, but not all, of the benches to the right side of the path. All loans are now being paid off, which is good. I think I forgot the Indian rhino on the education boards, I'm not 100% sure. Nonetheless, on this little stretch of path here, and I had real difficulty getting the shops in here. Well, food, drink, toilets and merch. And the paths just would not connect. I don't know what was going on. Many guests think tickets are underpriced, so I change it to $14.38. Send mechanics to repair things, keep clearing your research, release matured animals to the wild, conservation credits, what's going to get you the better animals. Buy my male panda, and I end up putting him just on that river bend. I was thinking of putting him over here, but that looked too small. So ultimately I go for this bit here. And this is where I put the giant panda. Now, he doesn't get any visitors, bless him. So I change pretty much all the front wall to one-way glass. Send the panda in. And then it's just a case of placing the enrichment and food and water and climbing and so on and so forth. Foliage is a big thing for pandas as well. So I still need one more habitat species. change the terrain for the giant pandas. They will be eternally grateful. And then obviously foliage is a big one for the pandas. I always like to give them more than they need, just because it's better for them, really. Along here, gonna want to add some shops. Finally get the Nile monitor, send him in. Add your coolers for your giant panda. So we have our 18 different species now. Call the vets for the diseased animals what keep popping up. Now, a mistake I do make, which I would advise, if possible, you don't make that same mistake, is once I'd researched an animal fully, I then just left it. I didn't move that vet on to research another animal. That's probably something you should do, so that all your animals have a higher education rating. Yeah, the gharial's in here. It must have climbed the fence, but it didn't say there was an escape. So I have to move it to the trade centre and then back into its habitat. So I just climb proof everything in both directions. Just the terrain for the Nile monitor. Education is pretty low across the entire zoo. So we're adding the speakers, which will boost the education rating. I think I said it in the last episode, I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, so these are all stuck. They can't access anything. So I just have to completely rejiggle the path. But even then, they're still sort of stuck until I move one of them. And then there's a horde of guests with balloons released into the park. The dolls that have matured, you're going to want to release them to the wild. I apply contraceptives to them, but you are going to want to release them to the wild. That would be the better option. So we still need that shop profit, so that's what I do here. Like I said earlier on, you want one of everything. So food, water, 2 drinks, 2 food, info, merch and toilets. Add your green recycling bins, a couple of benches, education boards, talk point. Not that it works really. And then near the entrance, you're going to want to add your conservation boards. Of course, you want those where there's the most throughfare of guests. So we're down to the last sort of 3.5 minutes before gold expires. So I just go ahead and place some donation bins and then build that gondola. There we go, everything's just been ticked. Build the gondola as quick as possible. Only has to be 250 meters though, so that's a bonus. Connect it, place your entrance, place your exit, connect your exit, connect your entrance, and then that will be gold achieved. Any second now. There we go. Gold has been achieved and you will have unlocked the golden Barbarossa statue. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you all next time for El Dorar Bazaar. Remember to like and subscribe. Hope you enjoyed. Stay safe and bye bye for now.